starting from the deeper layers just over and surrounding the abdominal viscera, we have the peritoneum. The peritoneum is a serous membranous bag covering the abdominal viscera, above which, lying over the peritoneum, we would be having the extraperitoneal tissues involving areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Lying superficial to the extraperitoneal connective tissues and below the abdominal layer, we have the fascia transversalis, since it majorly lies the inner surface of the transversus abdominis muscle. Superiorly, it is continuous with the diaphragmatic fascia. Posteriorly, it will continue with the thoracolumbar fascia. And inferiorly, we have the inguinal ligament, whose attachments are at the anterior superior iliac spine and the pubic tubercle, wherein the fascia transversalis will attach in the inner margin of the pubic crest and to the lateral aspect of the inguinal ligament. There is a specific opening about 1.2 centimeter above the mid-inguinal point, which lies just lateral to the inferior epigastric artery. This cavity or this gap is termed as the deep inguinal ring. The muscular layer is superficial to the fascia transversalis. It also lodges the rectus abdominis muscle within the rectus sheath. The muscle layer can further be divided into three separate muscles: the transversus abdominis, internal oblique, and external oblique. The deeper muscle is the transversus abdominis muscle. Major origins of the muscle is at the lateral one-third of the inguinal ligament, the anterior two-thirds of the inner lip of the iliac crest, running upwards and fusing with the thoracolumbar fascia. Certain fibers also originate from the lower 6 costal cartilages. These fibers, as the muscle name suggests, run transversely, or one can say horizontal, getting inserted and becoming a part of the rectus sheath over the linea alba. The internal oblique muscle arises from the lateral two-thirds of the inguinal ligament, intermediate area between the anterior two-thirds part of the iliac crest, that is between external oblique and transversus abdominis, runs upwards and ends at the thoracolumbar fascia. Such muscle fibers will arise obliquely and run upwards and medially, gets inserted alongside the costal cartilaginous margins and the xiphoid process over the linea alba. A thing to be noted is that the lateral border of the rectus abdominis of both sides, these lines will form the linea semilunaris, wherein the muscle splits into an anterior lamina and a posterior lamina. The external oblique muscle extends over to the costal margins of the outer line of the lower 8 ribs. These fibers runs medially and downwards and gets inserted over the linea alba. It is the most anterior abdominal muscle. It has a posterior free margin. These fibers will insert obviously alongside with the aponeurotic fibers at the linea alba and also insert onto the outer part of the anterior two-third of the iliac crest. Superficial to the muscular layer or anterior to the muscular layer further, we have the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia below the level of umbilicus, somewhere here, would split into a membranous inner layer and a fatty superficial layer. The membranous layer is also termed as Scarpi's fascia or fascia of Scarpa, whereas a superficial fatty layer is termed as Camper's fascia. It is to be duly noted that the fatty layer is continuous with the superficial layer of the perineum. Apart from this, it also extends downwards into the scrotum as the dartos muscle. The deep membranous layer in the perineum is termed as the Cooley's fascia. And finally, these structures are lined and covered by the skin. The skin has only one major feature, that is the umbilicus. Umbilicus, anatomically it is important. It is supplied by the T10 dermatome and is a site for portocaval anastomosis. Apart from this, the umbilicus also marks the watershed line, meaning the lymphatics above the watershed line or above the umbilicus will be draining into the axillary group and the thoracic duct, whereas below the watershed line, the lymphatics will be draining towards the inguinal lymph nodes.